Welcome to AG Chronicle.
He called himself King of the Universe, conqueror of lands, builder of empires. But to those who defied him, he was a butcher. This is the true story of Ashurnasirpal II, the Assyrian king who ruled with terror and left behind walls carved with torture. In 883 BCE, Ashurnasirpal II ascended the throne of Assyria. His empire was surrounded by rebellion and disloyalty. Cities refused to pay tribute. Vassals plotted in secret. Ashurnasirpal responded not with diplomacy, but devastation. He would become known for his brutal campaigns and for inventing a new kind of warfare, one built on terror psychology. Ashurnasirpal marched with tens of thousands, infantry, cavalry, chariots, and siege engines that smashed city walls. He burned towns, slaughtered prisoners, but that wasn't the end. He wanted the survivors to remember. In his own words, carved into stone tablets, Ashurnasirpal described what he did. I built a pillar at the city gate, and I flayed all the chief men who had revolted, and I covered the pillar with their skins. He skinned rebels alive, impaled the living, burned youths and infants in fire. Others were blinded, dismembered, and paraded in chains. He believed in total fear-based rule. The cruelty was deliberate, public, ritualistic. It wasn't just about killing. It was about sending a message to his enemies. This is what happens to those who resist Assyria. To his people, obey and you live, rebel and you vanish. Ashurnasirpal didn't just conquer, he built. He created a new capital, Kala, modern-day Nimrud, Iraq. It was decorated with massive palaces, winged lion statues, and stone panels carved with his victories. Scenes of torture were etched into the walls. Rows of prisoners being flayed, heads stacked in pyramids, hands cut off and counted. This was his legacy, a warning carved in stone. Ashurnasirpal also pioneered mass deportation. Entire populations, men, women, and children, were uprooted and resettled across the empire. This broke cultural bonds and made rebellion harder. He called it turning the hearts of the people. But it was psychological warfare. To celebrate his reign, he hosted one of the largest feasts in ancient history. Over 69,000 guests, nobles, allies, vassals, and soldiers dined for 10 days in Kala. It was a display of power and a reminder. You feast only because the king allows it. Ashurnasirpal II died around 859 BCE. He passed the throne to his son, and Assyria continued to grow. But his legend endured. Even centuries later, enemies whispered his name with fear. Archaeologists today still uncover records of his cruelty. His monuments tell the story, not of justice, not of mercy, but of a king who ruled with flame, iron, and skin. Was he a genius of empire, or a tyrant soaked in blood? Ashurnasirpal II showed the world that fear can build empires, but also break them. In the end, the empire he forged fell, but his name lived on in ash and stone. Like, share, and subscribe for more real stories of kings, killers, and forgotten empires. This is Dark History Uncovered.